with a limper, set the depth or lift them up. And the third point of linkage is the rifle position at the top. What that does is connects the tractor to the engine. So you're not pulling it anymore. You're not like your car in a caravan. Caravans have quite their own way to place. So what you're doing is you're actually connecting that instrument to your tractor and it is one. The other safety thing with this is all through the drag incident, as tractors were coming around, unfortunately didn't have rock depth of tractor driving. When the heavy horses were coming in the field, they were pulling through ploughs with the horses, and obviously if they got to something under the ground, the horse just couldn't pull it, right? Well, if you imagine now you're in a tractor, you're sitting on it, and you're ploughing deeper now than you've ever been able to before. You need to be a good 10 inches into the ground, 12 inches in some case. If you've hit something that you've never come across before and you're unaware of it, for instance on this green model end that's going past me, those wheels just keep turning because your implement at the back has stopped. Your tractor does a huge wheelie, and if you don't stop it in time, that tractor lands on you. So, seeing that as a humongous problem, what Harry Ferguson did was created this draft control system. So the third point of linkage at the top is connected by a spring, and so the more pressure that is applied to that, the more it raises that plough or implement back up again. So if you can imagine you hit something, a lot of pressure is going through that plough, it presses a large spring on there which opens up a valve and it automatically raises the plough out of the ground for you. We're going to move on now to this very large tractor that's turning around at the end. It's articulated with Matthew Ferguson. You can see it's starting to look a little bit more like a tractor you would recognise these days. It's large, it's got a cab, very large wheels and broad driven wheels. And so this point in time that we're looking at is the realisation that we're having to increase the size. And if they did have the power, the wheels would slip. So, four-wheel drive, County, roadless, companies like that, bought 4 units and would convert them over to four-wheel drive. Do we have a County? Oh, we have a roadless over there. So you'll see there's a blue tractor with a grey bonnet. Looks a lot like a Ford because the actual engine antenna is Ford. You can see it's got 4 equally sized, very large wheels. So roadless purchased the tractor, a bit like this Ford tractor here. And converted it from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. Very successful. A little bit expensive though because they weren't manufacturing the main tractor. They had to buy it and then they had to put their conversion onto it. So they ended up a little bit pricey. There's a County. You can see just going past the roadless now. Look how similar they look. Now you can see there that there is a problem in turning circle. Something that Matthew Ferguson was able to avoid by its articulation, but can you see that how those front wheels won't be able to turn very well as it gets towards the end of the arena? Well, what did they do? They made the front wheels smaller. So you can see that cape going past my commentary vehicle at the front there. They've extended the chassis a little bit, made the front wheels smaller, and it's given that turning circle back to the tractor. And there you can see that case is a lot similar to a tractor you're going to see today. And throughout our parade here, you're able to see the innovations of tractors throughout from the 1920s from that model F that started our parade all the way through to the 80s of that case. Along the top field here we see this dark blue and orange wheeled tractor. This little tractor here, well it's not little, it's starting to become big, but this tractor here is what got us out of our food rationing era after World War II. This is the Fordson E27N, or the Fordson Major. It's essentially a Model N, but what they did is they increased the size of the engine capability. You could fit it with a diesel engine, a Turpin diesel engine, and a better gearbox on it as well. You'll see it's fitted with the 3-point linkage. So at this point, the patent for Harry Ferguson's 3-point linkage is expired. So you'll see all of the other manufacturers taking up that 3-point linkage chance to put it on their own tractors. And that tractor was built over in Dagenham and essentially got us up and running again after the war. see two green tractors going past me here. One John Deere green body, yellow wheels, and an Oliver Standard with red wheels. Both American tractors. It was John Deere company, still going today, as you should all probably recognise those colours. And it's very popular in America to have three wheels. They call this a road crop type tractor. So what you can do is, if you see on the rear wheels there, it's got very large spigot sticking out of the rear there. Well, what you can do is quite easily loosen off the grip that it's got on the axle there and slide that rear wheel out. So if you're growing potatoes one day, you know, you want to plant some potatoes, you can set the track width that you want. You can do asparagus another time. You can change the track width to grow in the different crops quite easily. Just going past me now, this Fordson Major Diesel. You'll still see it in its Essex Park colours. This is one of the early Majors. This is when Fordson changed their idea on what was needed from a tractor. Up till now, they've only ever produced one type of tractor. Now, they've offered two. This larger style, the Fordson Major Diesel and the Fordson Dexter. Because it was starting to realise that little tractors weren't able to do all of the jobs around the farm. Some farms were larger, they were having taken out hedgerows, making their fields larger to increase the amount of arable land, and the actual size of the power company called Holt, and they were pioneers in the movement of building tracks or creating vehicles with track vehicles. Eventually Holt became Caterpillar. You can see here how much extra grip you're going to get with those tracks, and also, surprisingly, how lower surface pressure you're going to be adding to the ground that you're on. So there are some places with loose soil or ground that you don't want to compact too much. Well, you'd see track vehicles in use around there. On it. A lot of the times cabs were all optionals. They're not actually made by the manufacturer themselves, but you go through your catalogue or mail order catalogue back then, and that would be passed around your friends and farmers, and you would order a cab to fit your tractor. A bit larger in size. John Deere, funnily enough, the name does come from the man who invented the company, or started the company. John Deere himself invented what we call the self-scouring plough. So if you can imagine, you've got your heavy horse set up and you're pulling probably a wooden-made plough with maybe a metal tip at the front. You would be constantly cleaning it off because that wood gets a grip of the soil, especially if you're in like a clay, or if it's particularly damp, the sort of earth like this would stick a lot on wooden ploughs, wooden blades. And what he did is he invented a steel type plough, all steel construction, forged, and the shape of it meant that the earth would fall away from itself. So by buying a John Deere plough, you were actually able to get more work done in a day than you would without one. And he died long before the idea of the tractor even would come out, but the company was so successful and did so well with its plough implements that they joined the tractor manufacturing race back in the late 1890s, 1890 era, and as you know today, it's still one of the tractor companies that are still going. We see a lovely Ford 4000 leaving the arena now. Now this is the same manufacturer as the Fordsons. It's just back when Ford started to make tractors in around 1917 that there was already another tractor company making tractors under the name Ford, so he wasn't actually able to call his own Ford tractors Ford, so he called them Fordsons, Ford and Son, you know. Eventually they acquired the company and carried on using them until the early 60s. Ford. You can see a nice industrial Ferguson unit. So tractors weren't just used for farm work. We can see one here in an industrial formation with a front loader, front bucket and rear forks on it. There's the exception to the rule of saying all tractors are, the same make, the same colour. You will find that the industrial versions purchased by councils or the construction firms will quite often be yellow, or painted in the county council's colours. I can't quite see. I believe this is Minneapolis Moline, just coming past me now, in Prairie Gold, and Alice Chalmers at the rear there in orange. So the nature of the colours of the tractor pretty much started with that Alice Chalmers back there. When the organiser or the lead designer of Alice Chalmers back then visited California and saw the red poppies growing, he thought, how iconic would it be if my tractors were that colour, you'd instantly recognise it. So he painted all of his tractors orange from that point, and the other manufacturers followed suit.